Welcome to this congregation. We are the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lower Bucks, and we welcome you. I am Janet Kelly, your lay leader for today. Thank you for choosing to worship with us. Our UU community is built on love, connection, and acceptance for all who enter our space. We hope that today's message will help you on your personal and spiritual journey. We invite you to relax and enjoy this time together. Our theme for the month of December is hope. Despite adversity, hope is a life orientation that believes we can prevail. Hope is a shapeshifter that adapts in the face of reality to encourage us, which means to put heart into. The common good hangs in the balance in the struggle between hope and fear. Hope overcomes what William James called a civic temper, which helps us to transcend the drive for individual survival, to focus on the common good and create a shared, meaningful existence. Today's speaker is Emily Joy Goldberg. Emily Joy Goldberg is a composer, singer-songwriter, and teacher based in Philadelphia. Inspired by a childhood steeped in folk music and a background in classical voice, her current projects focus on social justice and Unitarian Universalism. She was the soprano soloist at the Unitarian Society of Germantown for over 13 years and now sings with the feminist women's choir Anna Crucis. Her sermon titled today, An Exploration of Article 2. This year at General Assembly in Pittsburgh, a great discussion was held surrounding what we call Article 2 of our Bylaws, Principles, and Purposes. Please enjoy an exploration of this conversation that is being held all across the country and learn about a new way of thinking of our values: justice, equity, generosity, interdependence, diversity, and transformation with love always at the center. And now a musical prelude by Emily Joy Goldberg.
Thank you. So this song is a song that I wrote for a project about the 7 principles, but I think it also works with these new values, and so I wanted to share it again today. The chorus is a bit catchy, so if you feel called to sing the chorus when it comes back around, feel free. This life may seem a race, many long since started. We all can turn, reach out our hands. We lose if we if the path ahead seems hard and fraught with stormy weather, take heart, for you are not alone. We'll make it there together on our journey to the promised land. We must walk side by side, for we cannot cross that blessed line if we leave one soul behind.
Oh, that was beautiful, Emily. Thank you. Now I would like to call Nathan Fry up to light the chalice while I read our opening words. We unite in our differences in background and belief. We unite with gratitude and hope. Hope for a world of differences, hope for a world that honors difference. We unite in community with gratitude for difference. Reverend David Breeden. Thank you. And now, a message for all ages. We welcome Emily Joy Goldberg with her story, Whatever Comes Tomorrow, by Rebecca Garden Levington.
I love children's books. I actually am a speech language pathologist, and I often know, I work in high schools, and I often think, oh, I don't want to bring in picture books because I think maybe I don't want to insult my, teenagers. But sometimes they're just so beautiful. They are poems and works of art that I really think that we have to remember they are for all ages, and books have no age limit in any direction. And this one I particularly love. I heard it first at GA this summer, and I had to get it for my family, and I wanted to share it with you today. It's called Whatever Comes Tomorrow by Rebecca Garden Levington, and the art is by Mariona Cabasa. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to hold it up. And I know that you can't see the pictures well from here, but I'll have it after at a table if you want to take a look. Tomorrow may bring endless sun or swirly, snowy skies. Tomorrow may bring new hellos or difficult goodbyes. Tomorrow may bring loneliness or laughter with a friend. Tomorrow may bring words that wound or ones that heal and mend. Tomorrow may bring changes that are scary, strange, or new. Tomorrow may bring chances to embrace your truest you. Tomorrow may bring obstacles that seem too hard to face. Tomorrow may bring feelings that will need some extra space. Tomorrow may bring questions that you have no answers for, or answers that may lead you to more questions than before. Tomorrow may bring anything you have no way to know. And sometimes that uncertainty gives worries room to grow. They sprout and bloom, consume your mind. You want to run and hide. But you've confronted fear before and reached the other side. You can't control what happens next, the what, the where, the how, The only thing in your control is you, right here, right now. You take a breath, you close your eyes, you whisper, "I am strong." You tell those worries in your head, "I know I can. You're wrong." And when tomorrow disappears, becoming yesterday, you'll know for sure you can endure whatever comes your way. Tomorrow may bring laughter, love, confusion, fear, or fun. An angry, rainy hurricane, or peaceful seaside sun. Whatever comes tomorrow, however steep the hill, you'll find your path, you'll journey on, you'll make it through. You will.
Well, I think that story was very wise and very therapeutic. There's no children here today, but I think we all love those stories, probably more than even the kids do. Please join me in singing "Go Now in Peace." Actually, I'm not going to sing it because I don't sing.
I'll sing it.
No. Not the words.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere you may. We can all go now in peace. Wherever we
Yeah. Okay. Now, where am I? Oh, Emily has a reading. I would like to welcome back Emily Joy Goldberg with the reading for this morning.
All right. The reading today is the proposed revision to Section C22 of the UU Values and Covenant. And there's an image that goes with it that I drew. Forgive my freehand drawing, but that's right in front here. I wanted to share. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant, congregation to congregation and through our association, to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these shared values are interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. Equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities.
Thank you, Emily. Split plate recipient for the month of December is AHTN. AHTN runs Code Blue, a program where volunteers like our own Rich Kelly transport homeless people to warm, safe houses of worship when it's bitter cold outside. And I am very happy to say inclusively houses of worship because it's not just churches, it's other houses of worship as well. AHTN offers free meals, and they often need help with they have a vehicle, but they often need help with repairs, and they need funds just to keep rolling. You may donate during this plate collection or mail a check or online. AHTN advocates for homeless and those in need. Please donate generously and give with your heart. Thank you. Your donation, given in love, is accepted with great gratitude. Now in our service, we have a musical interlude by Emily Joy Goldberg, followed by her sermon. Let us welcome back Emily Joy Goldberg.
So some of you may remember that I came last time and talked about an album I wrote about all the 7 principles. So I had to, of course, write a song about these new values. And I wrote a song, and if you look at the list that's in front of you that sort of looks like a flower, some of the words are a little academic. And so when I wrote a song, I thought, you know what? I can write this in a way that makes sense for people of all ages to sing. And I actually worked with some of the kids from the Unitarian Society of Germantown after I'd written sort of the first draft to say, hey, what works for you? What does this mean? And how can we use words that we all understand? And so what we came up with is, for generosity, we talk about giving. For transformation, we talk about change. For pluralism, differences. For equity, fairness. Justice, everybody knew. Those kids know what justice is. And interdependence, they understood the web of life. And so this is what it sounds like. I'm going to sing it all the way through with the little hand gestures that the kids came up with. I believe in the power of giving. I believe in the power of change. I believe in the power of differences. I believe in love. And then the chorus goes like this. Love, and you can clap if you'd like, is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. So next time you're going to sing that with me. I believe in the power of fairness. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. All right, now you're going to sing. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Thank you. A few weeks ago, I was driving through my neighborhood in Philadelphia, its Graduate Hospital, with my kids on the way to school. We passed a little grocery store, one of those small corner shops but fancy, called Palm Tree Gourmet, where you can get milk for twice the price if you're in the pinch. And I started reminiscing about the children's bookstore that used to be there. When I moved to the neighborhood, Chris's books had been there for over a decade. It was a community spot for families, and I was so excited to live in a place that included one of my favorite kinds of businesses, children's books. And I didn't even have kids yet. About a year after I moved in, Chris's bookstore closed. I heard that she'd become ill and couldn't find anyone to pass the baton to. In the same time period, we lost dozens of small bookstores in the city and all over. It had been happening for a while. I hate change. I like to know with certainty what is happening around me. I don't like to rock the boat for fear that it will take me off course to somewhere I know nothing about and for which I have no drawn-out plan. So I didn't like that my neighborhood was changing by losing one of my favorite places. Snow White, Little Pete's, the diner that used to have a box of toys for the kids in the front. One by one, we lost my favorite diners. The independent pharmacy, the raggedy community garden were replaced by new homes or fancier restaurants, and I didn't like it. In the same time period, something else started disappearing. The crumbly church 2 blocks away, the Baptist church that had just rebuilt their back wall and stuccoed the entire outer walls, came down for new condos. The beautiful church, made of green serpentine stone, displayed a demolition sign and was fenced in. And the church on another corner got polished up with a renovation to the letterboard outside that now read, "Let there be light, natural light in luxury condos. Inquire within." Things are changing. At General Assembly in Pittsburgh this summer, the big talk was around 2 things: Article 2 and the seismic shifts in the way people in our country related to places of worship. Both themes came up in almost every workshop I attended. What is Article 2? Is it going to pass? Spoiler alert, it did pass. What does that mean? Why are people leaving places of worship, and how can we get them back? And why should we get them back? I appreciated how, as a global congregation of UUs, we listened to each other and held space for the truth, for hurt, and for different viewpoints. I was inspired by the young people standing up for what they believed in. During the pandemic, I attended a writing workshop for people who wanted to work on personal narratives. The facilitator centered the weekend work around one theme: liminal space. According to Merriam-Webster, liminal means of, relating to, or being in an intermediate state, pause, or condition, in between, transitional. Over and over, we talked about how uncomfortable being in transition felt as a person, as a society. We talked about fear and panic and even horror and grief and being unmoored. But we also wrote about possibility, about what new things can be created when we expand and we shift and lose our previous foundations. Things are possible that weren't before. I think about pushing myself to sit in that liminal space during lockdown, so isolated and really in shock. I think about how I sat with that discomfort and built this life that I have now, work and relationships and family, in ways I hadn't thought of before. If we can just learn to sit in the liminal space of uncertainty and let things change, we have a chance to build something new. I miss a lot of the old people and places in my neighborhood, but the punk rock hardware store is still there, along with a couple new parks and a playground. A vacant building is now a pet store and a brunch place. Some of my neighbors have passed away or left. But I was just at a community meeting and my neighbor and co-committee person was standing up against gentrification, and there were tons of neighbors being in community, trying to create a neighborhood that works for everyone. It is an ongoing journey, and the community is stronger when it can ride the waves of change together. So I think that this is happening in Unitarian Universalism now as well. We've been reckoning with our place and role in society, in a society that's deeply tangled in white supremacy, trying to become a community that really lives our values. And if we let ourselves be open to change, what might we create? You've heard the proposal for revision of Article 2. I just read it a few minutes ago. And the core of it is in this image in front of me. According to the UUA, Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist Association Bylaws, Principles and Purposes, is the foundation for all of the work of our UUA and its member congregations and covenanted communities. It's the covenant to which all of our congregations and covenanted communities pledge themselves when they become members of the UUA. And this document is where you'll find the 7 principles, or 8, some people have adopted that one. Now, I was skeptical of this revision proposal. From my perspective, there were 2 problems. This is my perspective. There were 2 problems with revising Article 2, at least as far as I could tell, before I got to GA. 1, we'd just gone through so much work and growth in creating and sharing the 8th principle, and that's the one that reads, "We, the member congregations of the UUA, covenant to affirm and promote journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions." Whoa. Wouldn't this be disrespectful to those who spent so much time and care on that powerful anti-racism and racist work? And 2, I had just recorded a whole album of original songs on the principles. A labor of love to share my beloved faith. All my work would be obsolete. I was not psyched about that, to say the least. Just being honest. Still, I looked forward to the questioning, to the debating, to the listening and challenging each other in our faith. And the more I listened, the more I realized that I really did not have the big picture. Let's look at my first fear, the fear that this would be disrespectful to those who created the 8th principle. I was worried that in rewriting this document, we would be avoiding acknowledging that something had been amiss, that our organization had been pushing people of color to the sidelines, and we needed to reckon with that. I didn't want the revision to get us out of having to do that work. Well, it quickly became clear as I listened to people speak on behalf of the new Article 2 that the very people who wrote the 8th principle were actually in support of this new Article 2, and some were involved in its creation. If they were in favor of rewriting the part of our bylaws that includes the principles, why should I be opposed? As I listened, I heard that maybe, just maybe, we had to write an 8th principle because those 7 principles just weren't working for us anymore the way that we needed them to. And if they weren't working the way we needed them to, maybe we needed to recreate them as something that did work for all of us. Okay, so if I wasn't feeling guilty about erasing the work done on the 8th principle anymore, that left letting go of the principles altogether. And that is hard. So many of us define ourselves as UUs by these principles. I had written a whole album of songs to try and remember and share these with the world. They were that important to me. But then, one of the reasons I wanted to write an album of songs to help people know and remember our principles was precisely because they were hard to remember. It's a long list, let's be honest. Wrapping them up in some kind of elevator speech was never easy. I remember hearing one person share virtually on the screen at GA how sad she felt at the idea of letting go of the 7 principles, that even though she was newly UU, they were what had brought her to the UU community, and she held them so dear, she couldn't imagine being UU without them. It felt impossible. I want to honor that feeling, that real, deep connection to words that were for so many of us an invitation to a circle that welcomed us and held us fast. And yet, when I look closer, I found that those principles weren't gone. They will still be here with us, even if after trying on this new Article 2 love flower of values, we rewrite the document. Look, the first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, that's now under equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. The second principle, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, well, that's clearly under justice and equity. It actually gets 2 of the 6 petals. The third principle, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, that's now found under transformation. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. I won't go through them all, but suffice it to say, it's all still there. But now, when I find myself in the elevator, instead of having to remember a long list of descriptions, I can put that lovely picture in my mind and say, what's Unitarian Universalism? Well, for me, it is a faith community that centers love and values justice, equity, interdependence, generosity, pluralism, and transformation. Always transformation, because this work is never done. We're always growing and always becoming. So now, when I look at the new Article 2, the one that was voted on at GA to explore and try on this year, I get excited. My album of songs that shares the principles, it's not obsolete after all, because our values remain the same, however we write them. Principle, value, whatever we call it, it's all in the same big circle, and it's all who we are as UUs. I'm sure that for at least some of you, this is new and scary or strange or irritating, and if so, I'd encourage you to take a look at all the information on the UUA website, to talk to your friends and explore the discussion however feels right. One of the things I love about us UUs is that we make things our own. So let's not stop. Let's see how it feels to sit in this liminal space together. Let's keep transforming and transforming, becoming and becoming together. Always, always with love at the center.
Well, I think I needed that sermon because I was one of those people that was upset because as a Jewish kid who found Unitarian Universalism, I considered those 7 principles the 10 Commandments. So I was like, how are you messing with the 10 Commandments? I was appalled. So thank you for making it understandable for me. And truthfully, Emily's right, I could never remember them. Never. So if I can just say, oh, love's at the center, the rest kind of takes care of itself. And I did, in my preparation for today, finally read Joanna's email explaining it, because I was annoyed, I wasn't even going to read the email, but I had to because I'm here today. And on reading it, yes, every principle is enfolded into this new, easier way to comprehend Article 2. So thank you, Emily. I needed that. Thank you. I was having a little bit of a fit. Thank you. All right. Now is the time in our service when we recognize and lift up one another in love. Please come forward to this microphone to share your joy or sorrow.
Hello, I'm Jeff Ellis. 8 days ago on the 25th, I was privileged to take my niece, which I volunteered to do, to a great port on the Turkish city of Mersin on the Mediterranean. And I got to meet some of her cousins, great families, very, very nice. So it was wonderful to be with those people, and nice little vacation.
Hi, I'm Rich Kelly. I want people to keep in their prayers and thoughts a friend who's passed away, and just keep your prayers towards the Vigna family. Oh, let's not forget Janet Whaling and the Whaling family. Good news is that all the gifts from the giving trade, people have taken every one of them, so just bring them in when you can, by next Sunday at the latest.
That's great that we've made our goal, made some kids happy. Is that everybody? Okay. Whether or not you share today, for your joys, we in this community join you in celebration. For any sorrows or concerns, may you feel our sympathy and compassion. Oh, Jim?
Spirit of life.
Emily is going to Sing, All I Can Give Is Love.
Then should I just go straight into the Bright New Day? Sure.
Sorry.
Is that good?
Yeah.
We have lots of music. This is a meditation song that I wrote in 2017. So I'd invite you to close your eyes. It's very, very repetitive. The words are up here, but you can remember them because it's just, I wish I could take all your pain away, but all I can give is love. And I'm going to sing it through twice. So as you start catching on, please feel free to start singing along. I wish I could take all your pain. I wish I could take all your pain. I wish I could take all your pain away. I wish I could take all your pain. I wish I could take all your pain, but all I can give, all I can give is love. So now if you'd like to sing along. I wish I could take all your pain. I wish I could take all your pain. I wish I could take all your pain away. I wish I could take all your pain. I wish I could take all your pain, but all I can give, all I can give is love. All right, this is a song I'd like to finish with called Bright New Day. And I'd like you to sing when the chorus comes around. We're going to sing it, the chorus 4 times. And the words in the chorus are, bright new day, I know it's going to be a bright new day. That's it. Can I hear you say it? Bright new day, I know it's going to be a bright new day. That's it. Now you know it. All right, here we go. And it's a zipper song, so if you start catching on to the verses, sing along with those too. That means just one word changes every time. There's a lot of joy in this morning. There's a lot of joy in this morning today. There's a lot of joy in this morning. And I think it's gonna be a bright new day. Here you go. Bright new day. Bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day. Bright new day. Bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day. That was great. You got 3 more tries. There's a lot of hope in this morning. There's a lot of hope in this morning today. There's a lot of hope in this morning. And I think it's gonna be a bright new day. go. Bright new day, bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day, bright new day, bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day. This one's peace. There's a lot of peace in this morning. There's a lot of peace in this morning today. There's a lot of peace in this morning. And I think it's gonna be a bright new day. Bright new day. Bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day. Bright new day. Bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day. The last one is love. There's a lot of love in this morning. There's a lot of love in this morning today. There's a lot of love in this morning. And I think it's gonna be a bright new day. Last time. Bright new day. Bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day. Bright new day. Bright new day. I know it's gonna be a bright new day.
Okay, we're gonna extinguish the chalice. Reminded that we are part and participants of the universe, let us go forth from the quiet of this hour, encouraged to strive toward hopefulness to the best in ourselves, in others, and in the whole creation. Reverend Norman V. Naylor. Our service is concluded. For those of you on Zoom, thank you for joining us today. We hope you can join us again next week. I would like to thank Emily Joy Goldberg for a very wonderful sermon today. Thank you, Emily. For all who are here, please join us in the cafeteria for coffee, fellowship, and conversation. Go now in peace. Amen, and blessed be. Yeah, it was really great.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was
Good job,
great.
Janet Kelly. Good job.
Oh, if we're gonna cite, Sherry thinks I should do this, and I always say I have stage fright, Sherry.
Sure.
Thanks for making me grow.